All right, let's just jump right into this explainer. Today, we're cutting through the noise and looking at the absolute truth about your Medicare options. We're going way beyond those typical one-year cost comparisons. Instead, we are focusing on the real lifetime costs from age 65 all the way to 85. If you've been bombarded by television commercials promising $0 premiums and endless freebies, well, you really need to hear what the actual data and the real-life experiences of seniors are telling us. So here's our roadmap for today. First, we'll look at the short-term illusion, then the fine print bureaucracy. Third is the hidden cost of ARMA. After that, we'll cover alternatives and premiums, state exceptions, and finally, we'll expose some hard commission truths. Okay, part 1, the short-term illusion, age 65 versus 85.
You know, it's incredibly common to be drawn to Medicare Advantage right out of the gate. I mean, on paper, when you turn 65, it looks amazing, right? $0 premiums? Sign me up. But here's the trap. Comparing just one healthy year against a 20-year lifetime horizon is really, really dangerous. Our sources highlight a fundamental flaw in how these plans are marketed to us. If you only have a few routine checkups, sure, Advantage absolutely wins the math for that specific year. But let's be real. Over a 20-year lifespan, from 65 to 85, severe illnesses like cancer, heart disease, or diabetes are statistically highly probable. So picking a plan just because you feel great today can turn into a massive financial and medical trap when you inevitably need complex care down the road at 75 or 80.
And here's a massive reason why. On Advantage plans, you're often on the hook for a 20% coinsurance for expensive Part B drugs. And listen, we aren't just talking about a cheap bottle of pills here. We're talking about life-saving, clinician-administered treatments. Think chemotherapy, injectables, heavy-duty infusions. 20% of a massive oncology bill? That can literally drain your retirement savings in a flash, at least until you hit that high out-of-pocket maximum, which, by the way, resets to thousands of dollars every single year.
Moving right along to part 2, fine print bureaucracy and prior authorizations.
This brings us to a harsh reality. When you're dealing with restrictive networks and prior authorizations, the difference between Medigap and Advantage can literally feel like a matter of life and death. Take a look at this heartbreaking comment from our source material. A viewer shared that their brother-in-law had stage 4 cancer and had to battle not just the disease, but his Advantage insurance company, waiting on authorizations and paying thousands out of network. See, with traditional Medicare and a Medigap plan, you can just go to any of the 96% of doctors nationwide who take Medicare. No questions asked. But with Advantage, you're stuck battling insurance adjusters to get surgeries and essential meds approved. And if you live out in a rural area, or you desperately need a renowned specialist in another state, that limited local network is going to leave you footing a massive bill.
Now check out this number, $1,000. This represents the typical annual dental limit you get on one of those free Advantage plans. I know so many people who sign up just for the dental and vision, but let's actually run the math on this. Our sources compare these free perks to a promotional gym membership. They look great on the brochure, but a $1,000 limit barely makes a dent in major dental work. I mean, a single root canal and crown will easily run you over $2,000. Plus, if you read the fine print, you'll usually find long waiting periods, and you're restricted to these large corporate clinic networks that you probably wouldn't choose otherwise. So essentially, you're trading away your freedom to choose your medical doctors just for a dental benefit that won't even cover the expensive procedures you actually end up needing. Kind of wild, right? All right, let's get into Part 3, the hidden cost, IRM-AA, and Part B surcharges.
So imagine this. What if your Medicare Part B premium suddenly jumped from $185 to over $500 a month? There is this hidden financial reality that catches so many seniors completely off guard when they sit down to do their retirement budgeting. Most of us just assume the Part B premium, which remember, you have to pay whether you go with Medigap or Advantage, is just a flat, predictable rate, usually around $185. But our sources reveal that is absolutely not the case for everyone. And man, that surprise can be devastating if you're on a fixed income. Here is what happens. Simply tapping into your hard-earned retirement accounts like a 401k just to maintain a normal middle-class lifestyle in a high-cost area can trigger what's called ARMA. That stands for the Income-Related Monthly Adjustment Amount. One senior from our source data actually saw their premium skyrocket to over $527 a month just because they took money out of their retirement savings to live on. This hidden surcharge hits you regardless of which healthcare plan you chose, which makes comprehensive budgeting absolutely crucial. Next up, Part 4, Alternatives and Premium Increases. Now, I want to be fair here. It is not all sunshine and rainbows on the traditional Medigap side either. We have to be realistic about costs.
Yes, Medigap gives you total freedom to see any doctor, and it shields you from those massive out-of-pocket medical bills. But the monthly premiums inevitably go up. Our sources mention seniors, often widows on fixed incomes, who have been on these plans for decades and are suddenly getting hit with premiums of $500 to $800 a month. This happens because of age factors, general inflation, and what the insurance industry calls closed blocks. Honestly, it can feel like a complete financial trap.
But don't panic, there is good news here. If that standard super popular Plan G is just too expensive or you're terrified of future rate hikes, you have some really excellent alternatives. First, there's Plan N. This is a fantastic middle ground. You get significantly lower monthly premiums, and in exchange, you just pay small, manageable copays, usually like $20 to see a doctor and $50 for the ER. Another amazing option is the high deductible Plan G. That gives you absolute, rock-solid protection from medical catastrophes while keeping your fixed monthly costs incredibly low.
Okay, moving to Part 5, State Rules and Exceptions. Why your zip code matters.
This is a big one. The harsh reality in most of the country is what's known as the 6-month trap. See, when you first turn 65, you get this golden window to buy any Medigap plan you want, without answering a single health question. But once that 6-month window slams shut, if you get sick while you're on an Advantage plan and suddenly realize you want the freedom of Medigap, you usually can't just switch. The insurance companies are going to require medical underwriting. They'll look right at your cancer diagnosis or your heart condition, and they will flat out deny your application. However, if you live in certain states, you might have a massive geographical lifeline protecting your right to switch. For example, states like New York, Connecticut, Massachusetts, and Maine. They allow you to switch to a Medigap plan year-round, absolutely no medical exams required. Other states like California, Illinois, and Nevada use something called the birthday rule. This grants you a special window right around your birthday every single year to switch to an equal or lesser plan without answering any health questions. The takeaway here, knowing your specific state's laws is absolutely critical for your long-term healthcare strategy.
Finally, Part 6, The Truth About Commissions. Follow the money.
We really need to talk about why you see so many commercials for one specific type of plan. To build absolute trust with you guys, we have to be brutally honest about how the money flows in this industry. The simple fact is, the insurance industry heavily pushes Medicare Advantage with those relentless big-budget TV ads and celebrity endorsements for one big reason. Those plans pay significantly higher commissions to insurance agents and brokers. It is a massive profit engine for the insurance companies, and they use those profits to aggressively market the plans right back to you.
Medical professionals and our source materials are really sounding the alarm on this. Now, let's be clear, Advantage plans absolutely do work well for some people, especially if you live in a dense urban area with a great network and you just cannot afford a Medigap premium. But ultimately, they are driven by corporate profit, and they control their costs by limiting your access to care. You absolutely have to protect your life savings and your health by looking way past the flashy freebies and truly understanding the mechanics of what you're buying. So, as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with one final critical question. The system is incredibly complex, I know, but the stakes literally couldn't be higher. Are you choosing a plan just to get a free gym membership for the healthy 65-year-old you are today? Or are you securing your right to life-saving, unrestricted medical treatment for the 85-year-old you will inevitably become? Take a really hard look at that lifetime horizon. Consult with a completely independent broker, and make the choice that guarantees you true peace of mind for the rest of your life. Thanks for sticking with me. Keep learning, stay focused, and I'll catch you on